following is a production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
The most common cancer in the United States is often hiding in plain sight. How you can prevent being a statistic ahead.
And petitioning the president. Find out why UPI's leader is wanted out of the office.
And later, an outdoor getaway near Macomb is adding up. Find out why this park could be your next weekend destination.
Out from the state budget impasse is trickling down to the University Professionals of Illinois, the union at WIU.
With more on this story, Cody Snodgrass reports. Cody?
On Tuesday, 2 professors at WIU sent out a mass email to the union members asking for the UPI's president's recall. The petition asked professors to vote to recall the union president, Bill Thompson.
Although Thompson feels the workers have a right to vote him out, he wants them to know the facts. There are key points from the petition that Thompson wants to focus on, one of which is that he's unwilling to negotiate. He says that is not true.
We entered into negotiations with them in the fall. So obviously we were prepared to talk with them about these issues. Negotiations fell apart.
The negotiations fell apart when the administration went around the union to talk to the workers themselves.
And they did it. So at that moment, that put them in a position what's called bad faith. Because if the people at the table are telling you one thing and then they do another, then basically the issue is who are we talking to?
Thompson admits he hasn't proposed a vote to the faculty. However, he is not the only one to blame for this issue.
It's true that we haven't brought anything to the members for a vote, but it's also true that the administration has not given us anything to bring. We haven't had a discussion in which we had a mutually agreeable proposal that we would bring to a vote.
Once the administration and Thompson reach an agreement, he says he will then bring it to the workers for a vote.
Something that we believe is in the best interests of our members. And that's what our job is as negotiators, right? It's not that you bring everything that the administration brings to you immediately to a vote. That's not how things work. They bring something to you and then you bring something back to them and then you work toward the middle.
One of the biggest topics was a 4% decrease in workers' pay, which could save close to $5 million for the university.
You want 4% of my money, okay. What are you going to do with it? And so we asked, will it stop the current layoffs? Answer, no.
Thompson feels it would be hard to tell workers they'd be losing money simply for a symbolic reason. And while some feel Thompson is turning down offers to save money, he says that is not true.
So that is not a refusal. That's simply not a refusal, right? That's a conversation, that's a clarification, and that's we'll talk some more about this.
Tune in next week for continuing coverage as we hear from the other side of the story. The professor initiating this recall. Jose, Brianna, back to you.
All right, thank you, Cody. The fight for higher education continues in Springfield. Students continue to lobby their legislature to push getting a state budget passed. Illinois is now its 8th month without a state budget, meaning higher education and many social services are left without funding from the state. A press release says there is another lobby day in Springfield on March 1st to do it again. The goal is to override Rauner's veto of State Bill 2043. WIU Union President Bill Thompson is trying to organize faculty to attend the protest.
A local nonprofit organization working to house homeless families is closer to its goal. Genesis Garden had a successful first day of cleaning out a home on East Carroll Street. They plan to turn the home into McDonough County's first emergency family homeless shelter. Last weekend, 136 volunteers helped throughout the day to achieve that goal. They also received an anonymous donation of the remaining $22,000 needed to fix the roof. On March 5th from 9 a.m. to noon, volunteers will meet to finish the job. For those interested, volunteers can sign up for the next cleanout day on the Genesis Garden Facebook page. The rise in lethal drugs continue to spread across the McDonough and Fulton County areas. Law enforcement officers say the legal system is convicting and in an increasing amount of people dying of methamphetamine and heroin overdoses. Although the majority of students from the WIU campus have not been impacted by this, these deaths have affected officers personally as they strive to help the community make good choices and find the help they need.
You know, people I knew that have, you know, I used to live in another town in the area that, you know, people went to prison for getting involved in and stuff like that. I mean, just by buying the precursors for somebody, you can go to jail for it and stuff like that.
The information was provided at the event Coffee with a Cop conversational program that was held yesterday afternoon. The event is a way for the Macomb community members and law enforcement to come together and discuss their issues.
Visitors to Spring Lake will now have a new reason to enjoy the park with 2 new additions. The park will now offer rental cabins to anyone hoping to spend the night. Spring Lake manager Ryan Hansen says this is a long-awaited amenity.
With the number of calls that I got last year on the park phone, just people asking, you know, do you have cabins, can we reserve them? Instead of saying no, I said, why don't we say yes? So I pitched the idea to the city council and they said, well, why don't we build 4 of them?
Each cabin will be unique and will carry a little bit of Spring Lake with them. The floor of each cabin will be made out of wood cultivated from the park, such as maple, red oak, and cedar. The cabins have a loft sleeping area and ceiling windows. As an added bonus, all of the cabins will be heated and air conditioned, along with some kitchen amenities. The cabins are expected to be open to the public sometime in March. Western Illinois University students and the Macomb community will be legally streaking throughout the campus this Saturday. Well, almost. The University Campus Recreation is sponsoring its 3rd annual Nearly Naked Mile this Saturday afternoon. This mile-long charity run will be held on the Macomb campus this in hopes to raise funds for the McDonough County YMCA Children's Scholarships. Participants can register from now until the day of the race, only $20.
The weather is starting to warm up just a little bit, and that means it's almost time for fun in the sun. But are you putting yourself in danger? Still ahead, the signs of skin cancer and how you can protect yourself from becoming a statistic of one of the most common cancers in the nation.
And Mr. Winter is making a visit to Illinois, but he misses Macomb. We'll survey the damage coming up.
Pretty nice, and it's going to get even nicer. It is windy today. If we take a look outside and see the Macomb County Courthouse, it's pretty decent. There are some clouds out there, but I have a good weather forecast, so you're going to want to stick around here live at 4.
To eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Now from Macomb in high definition, you're watching Brianna Descoret, Jose Gonzalez, Storm Team 3's 5-day outlook, and sports with Eric Sutera. Live at 4 continues.
Alarming statistics from the Skin Cancer Foundation. 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in the course of a lifetime.
And it's not affecting adults. 6% of the deadliest form of skin cancer cases happens in teens 15 to 19 years old.
To tell us more, News 3's Emily Manley joins us. Emily?
Thank you, Brianna and Jose. Skin cancer is the most common of all human cancers in the United States, with over 1 million people diagnosed each year. I went to the sunscreen booth to find out how much damage my own skin had, and then I talked to a survivor on how she discovered she had melanoma.
Diane Tate works at McDonough District Hospital. She explained to me most people are shocked at how damaged their skin really is.
And that's one reason why we do the sun damage screenings here, because like I say, it doesn't diagnose cancer or anything. It just makes you aware of how much sun damage you have on your skin.
I myself was shocked at how damaged my own skin was when I went into the sun damage screening booth. Tate explained to me my skin was moderately damaged from the sun and told me the importance of wearing sunscreen daily.
The sunscreen really protects your skin and stuff, whatever, so hopefully you don't develop skin cancer. And like I say, there are some less serious ones like basal cell carcinoma, and then of course there's the melanoma, which is known as more as the deadly skin cancer.
Jasmine Crichton is a survivor of skin cancer. She was diagnosed with melanoma more than 10 years ago. Crichton says she noticed a scab on her arm. When she finally saw her dermatologist, they called her 3 days after her skin was tested.
I knew when they were calling me so soon after they saw me that something was really wrong. I had me come in and they told me it was melanoma. The mole looked like, it was really dark and it was smaller than a pencil eraser and it looked like a scab. And that's what I originally thought it was. I was just tired of it being on my arm, so I kind of just scratched it, and I scratched it off and it came back and it looked exactly the same, and I thought that's really weird.
Crichton was in the marching band and she didn't want to go through the hassle of putting sunscreen on.
I got really fried a few times and had really bad sunburns and even probably in blisters too.
Jasmine said she might have thought she was the uncool kid then, but now sunscreen is a daily priority.
Sunscreen is part of my daily life now. My makeup has sunscreen in it, so my face is always has SPF on it. And I cover up for the most part, but when it comes to summertime and it's warm out, I do spray myself with sunscreen.
Crichton now sees a dermatologist once a year to make sure she is still cancer-free. It is not only important for those who have had cancer to get checked out, but everyone else should too.
If ever, one thing we do advise and stuff whatever is like you do a skin cancer check and stuff whatever when you go, or ask for that when you go to your doctor, so they can check you from head to toe to make sure that you don't have any lesions that need to be biopsied or removed.
Now, you can consult your dermatologist immediately if you have any moles or pigmented spots that are as you see on your screen. Irregular shaped, or if they have an odd border, they can vary from one area of color to the next, or they can be bigger than 6 millimeters, which is normally the size of an eraser on a pencil. I was more than surprised when I saw the damage I had done to my face, so please make sure you get checked out, because you might not know what's underlying your skin. Jose, back to you.
Thank you, Emily, for the report. And speaking of sun, Chicago State University students are not getting a spring break due to the budget crisis. University officials confirmed to News 3 the school has opted to hold classes during the scheduled break. This is an effort to close before it runs out of operation dollars. CSU was set to close on May 12th, but it will now close at the end of April.
Strong winds and heavy snowfall has caused problems for some parts of Illinois. Eastern and central Illinois got hit by a blizzard-like conditions Wednesday. The severe weather caused around 860 flight cancellations at O'Hare. National Weather Service advised drivers to remain cautious and avoid the road as much as possible. Illinois State Police reported 229 crashes, vehicles in ditches, and stranded motorists. Schools like EIU and ISU were also canceled.
Some nice changes in the weather are coming this weekend. Stay tuned to hear Emily Manley's a news report about it.
We'll have that and more after the break.
Good. Homemade noodles. Oh. Marty, stop it. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. It reminds me, I've been thinking maybe we should try a new form of birth control. I heard about this one, it's called the IUD, intrauterine device. Or we could try the patch on your arm. Actually, I think that one goes in your butt.
Bedsider.org has birth control information and a lot more. And it's...
What do you think, then? Arm of the butt.
My favorite thing about WIU is how much we work as a team. Everyone here has helped immensely, and when we work together, the outcome is amazing. Producing for the newscast, writing for the newscast, going to City Council every Monday. It's something that I've learned that it takes a team. There's no such thing as an I. If there's an I, then we know that something's going to go wrong. I really do believe WIU has prepared me for the outside world. I can't wait to see where I end up. I have to thank everyone that has been involved. You know, Jasmine Creighton, she has managed to help me overcome that scary part. And the way that you have a great show is not the content that you have, it's the people who you work with. And here at WIU, I have had a chance to work with some excellent people.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
A single ember from a wildfire can travel over a mile. That ember can ignite and destroy your home or community. You can't control where that ember will land. Only what happens before it does. Visit fireadapted.org to learn how you can help protect your community from wildfires.
Well, welcome back here to Live at 4. If we want to take a look outside, currently 41 degrees and sunny. Now, the only bad part about this graphic right here is that winds 23 miles an hour and gust up to 30 miles per hour. If we take a look, though, we can see that around the area, the temperatures are going to be a little bit more warmer out there if we move to the south, but if you move to the north, it's even cooler, 38 degrees, 41 in Macomb. Let's take a look, though, as we see the graphic. You know, if we take a look, though, we can see that the temperatures in the average for today was 36 to 17, and the record was 75 degrees. I wish it was 75 degrees. Let's not look at that -9 because that's an absolute horrible number, and I wouldn't want to live that nowadays. This is what I want to show you guys, though. This is moving into this weekend. There's a jet stream that is out to the west of us, and that's going to move in. It's a high-pressure system, and that's going to cause some warmer temperatures moving into Saturday and Sunday. If we take a look, though, at the radar, you can see that there's nothing really going on. This is that snowstorm, though, that Iowa did see. We didn't see here, though, but it moved to central and middle of Illinois, and it gave them quite some blizzard conditions because of all the crazy wind. If we take a look, though, at the temperatures around the region, 40 degrees in St. Louis, 42 in Kansas City, and here 37 degrees, so it's going to get warmer, and I think you're going to like me as we talk more into the weekend. This is the temperatures for tonight. It does dip below freezing, 28 in St. Louis, 28 into Chicago. Moving into tomorrow, it does warm up a little bit more, 47 degrees in St. Louis, 42 in Davenport, and just above freezing in Chicago. If we take a look at this evening, 25 for the low, partly cloudy skies. You might see a little bit of the moon. It was a full moon earlier this week as we finish into February, and the winds do die down. We are going to see winds up into the 30 miles an hour zone until later this evening, and then they will drop down to 5 miles an hour. Moving into tomorrow, 43 degrees. Winds do raise up a little bit. Looking at the weekend forecast, though, I think you're going to like this. It moves into this nice temperature. 42 on Friday, 58 on Saturday, and then 62 on Sunday. How fantastic is that? You're going to want to make sure you get outside this weekend because we could see some snow into early next week. If we take a look at the 5-day forecast here, you can see that 58 degrees on Saturday, like I said, and Sunday, 62. Monday, 53 degrees, and on Tuesday is when the temperatures drop because that jet stream moves in out of the region, and that's when we could see some rain and moving into the night, possibly some snow because of how low temperatures dip. So make sure you guys get outside and enjoy that weather this weekend because it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
Yes. Definitely, sure will. Yeah, how about those sports for the weather?
Yeah, we might have some outdoor sports coming up here real soon.
All right.
Coming up next in sports, the WIU men's basketball team has some work to do at home this weekend if they want to make it to the Summit League tournament. And the Leatherneck women's basketball team plays their final 2 games of the season at home this weekend as well as they take on the Dakotas. And the Leatherneck baseball team got its season underway last weekend, and we'll get an inside look at what to expect from them this year. All that coming up next.
We taught him how to hit a baseball.
How to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Hey, Hard, what's this? That's my resignation letter. You're resigning? Why? Because you're constantly ignoring me. You're half as active as you used to be, and you get stuff like this. You've been putting me under a lot of pressure lately. That's why I'm ready to quit. I forgot. I'll do better. Please, don't quit on me. Okay, but remember, it's not what you say. It's what you do.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you.
Let's go for a walk.
Uncontrolled high blood pressure could lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range before it's too late.
You make me wear my bike helmet. You taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules. You tell me to stay away from drugs. To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Western Hall will be a busy place this weekend as both men's and women's basketball wrap up their seasons. The men's team Summit League tournament hopes rely on this weekend's results as the Leathernecks are 2 games out of 8th place. Western has to beat Fort Wayne tonight to have a chance at playing for 8th place on Saturday against IUPUI. Tonight's tip-off for the men's game against Fort Wayne is set for 8 p.m. and Saturday's tip-off against IUPUI is set for 7 p.m. The women's team will take on the Dakotas this weekend, starting off tonight against North Dakota State as they look ahead into the Summit League tournament on a positive note.
2 big games. I mean, we've got a chance if we get a win to finish the regular season with the winning record, in the second time in a while here, which I think would be a good accomplishment. And sometimes when you're in the thick of things, you always want more, but I think when we step back, that would be something that we can be proud of. And it'd be a tough game. North Dakota State was up, 16 points on us in the second half at their place, and we were able to come back and beat them. But they're a good physical team. They rebound well, they defend well, and they've got some kids that can really score it. And then South Dakota State, one of the best teams, mid-majors in the nation, and it'd be fun, on senior night to kind of try to step up and knock them off. I can't think of a better way for our 4 seniors to go out than beating South Dakota State.
Western will take on the Bison tonight. Game time at 5:30, and Saturday they will face South Dakota State at 4:30 p.m. for their final game of the season. Transitioning from the court to the diamond now, baseball season has just gotten underway last weekend, and let's take a look at what to expect from the Leathernecks this year.
Baseball season is finally here, and the Leathernecks just wrapped up a series against Tennessee Tech. And with the new season here, it brings new expectations.
Early in the year, it's about getting better and improving on things. We showed flashes of being really good last weekend. We just got to put, a complete game together. Biggest thing was handling the ball in certain situations. Pitchers did a good job of throwing strikes. That's the most strikes we've thrown. Coming out of an opening weekend, we had 9 2-out RBIs, and we don't normally. I think we usually have 1 or 2 usually the first weekend. So the guys situationally hit a lot better, and then we had power numbers. But the ballpark last weekend, you're gonna hit some home runs last weekend in that ballpark.
I'd really like to go to the conference championship again. We made it there our freshman year, and it was a great experience. I just feel like this team has a lot different mentality than the last 2 years that I've been on this team. So really looking forward to seeing what we can do this year.
With a 17-33 record last season, there is one particular area the Leathernecks feel they need to improve on for this season.
Defense, biggest thing, but that will come. We have more experienced guys out there, and anytime, last year, anytime you're jumbling guys around or playing guys out of position in certain areas, they're going to make some defensive mistakes, and obviously guys are a year older and playing in positions that they played last year, so those mistakes should go away.
Just controlling the ball and being patient at the plate. Having good at-bats and not wasting any.
Basically for pitchers, I think we need to cut down on the walks. That was a big problem for us the last 2 years. We really need to throw strikes, get ahead on people, and then hitters just keep hitting the ball. We did really well this past weekend. So I think if we just keep doing that, we can put both things together and we'll be a pretty good team.
With a handful of newcomers on the team this season, some have already been making impacts.
Well, just from last weekend, Deion Thompson had a great weekend. Nick Schrader had a good weekend. We had Ian Cook and Jimmy Perkins both got their first innings as freshmen, and that can be hard, especially on the mound. It can be difficult as a freshman to come out and pitch, and both those guys really didn't show any nerves at all, which is great to see out of those guys. And then we do have some junior college transfers with Matt Sturcio, Nate Westfall on the mound, and then Connor Courier and Cord Church offensively. So, the good thing is we have a lot of returning guys, but we do have some new guys to be able to mix in with them as well.
Right now, the two younger players that are sticking out to me would be Deion Thompson and Nick Schrader. Both hard-nosed kids, work hard. Their hard work is just unreal right now, and looking forward to continue to play with them.
The Leathernecks looking for their first win of the season as they head to Southern Illinois this weekend to take on the Salukis in a 3-game series on Friday and Saturday. That's it for sports. Final Word is next on Live at 4.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
You can be a hero by being prepared for an emergency. First, make a plan. Call a family meeting to plan for things like how to connect with loved ones after an emergency or your escape route.
I am not fast.
Build a kit. When disaster strikes, it's important to have enough supplies to last 3 days. And don't forget the batteries.
Low battery.
Visit ready.gov/kids for more preparedness tips.
Stories. They happen everywhere. At NEWS3, we go the distance and tell them firsthand. Across the region.
The tornado tore through a neighborhood in Washington, Illinois.
Across the state.
Here at the state capitol in Springfield for the gubernatorial race.
Across generations.
We have a lot of people that are very dedicated. We're all volunteers.
The stories that inform us, the stories that move us, the stories that matter from a fresh perspective.
The Macomb Police honor their best officers. They held an award ceremony this morning. The Chief of Police gave out the awards and commendation from both the department and state police. One award, Officer of the Year, is elected by the officers themselves.
When I come to work every day, or when I first got the job here, kind of think about what can I do to make it better, So definitely something I strive for.
The Macomb Police Department says Matt Mars has worked hard both in the department and in the community. He updated the website, uniforms, and training for Macomb Police. And he works to stay involved with the community.
All right, so Emily, last weekend was great weather. Are we going to have the same thing?
I think we're going to like it again this weekend. Tonight we're going to see a low around 25, partly cloudy skies. You might be able to see a little bit of the moon though. Winds will die down tonight because, man, if you get out there, it'll take your hat away. It's so windy out there. Moving into tomorrow, we'll see a high of 43 degrees. Winds pick up just a tad, but you know what? It's not going to be as bad as it was today. And looking at our 5-day forecast, the weekend looks absolutely fantastic. So make sure that you get a chance to go outside. 58 on Saturday, 62 on Sunday, and even Monday is supposed to be nice. So above average temps for right now. Make sure you get outside and enjoy the weekend, especially with the sun. I'm just so excited to finally have it feel like spring. The past few weekends have been absolutely fantastic.
Yes, it'll be very nice to get outside.
Exactly.
Well, that's all from us today.
Thank you for joining us.
For Emily Manley, I'm Brianna Descaret.
And for Eric Sotero, I'm Jose Gonzalez.
And for all of us at News 3, have a good evening, Macomb.